Hello and welcome. This is View from the Top. I am Modele Sharafa Yusuf and I'm delighted that you could join us today. I'm also particularly happy to be speaking with one of the most talked about politicians in Nigeria today, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Your Excellency, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Modele. You're welcome.
When I sought to speak with Vice President Atiku Abubakar, he kindly consented to the interview immediately, but on one condition, that we were not going to be discussing politics. I would not ask him any questions about politics. I reluctantly agreed, knowing as I do that there are so many other things that we could talk about. And being a woman of my words, I diligently prepared questions that were not political. But then I asked my followers on Twitter to send me questions for our public probe segment, and I was inundated with, you guessed it, questions about politics. So what's a woman to do? I will ask him my questions first, and then I will put your questions to him right after this brief biography. Please stay with us. Your Excellency, apart from politics, I find that one of the things that gets you really excited is education. And one of your highest profile investments is the American University of Nigeria. Is AUN business or is it philanthropy?
It's philanthropy. It's not a business yet.
Yes.
I don't see it becoming a business in my lifetime. And even after my lifetime, I have endowed that university to the public. Is not going to be a part of my estate for anybody to inherit.
But if it is still not within the reach of the average Nigerian, as I know that it is not, you are always going to be accused of building a university for the children of the rich. So how does your investment in education benefit the ordinary man in Yola, for example, where this university is located?
Well, this is a misconception, actually, many people have about the university. But today we have some of the, children of the poorest parents, in the country who are on scholarship. We have published our scholarship scheme, and there is no university in this country, not even the public universities, have those kind of scholarships for the children of the poor, as long as they are bright.
I'm quite familiar with the university, I'd confess that. I know that community service and entrepreneurship are an integral part of the curriculum and indeed of university life. Why are these so important?
Because actually one of the objectives of the university is not just to train employable people, but we also want to train people who can create jobs. We have a number of our graduates who have come out and who have decided actually to create jobs from day one. They started their businesses, and today they employ 20, 30, 40 other Nigerians. So the kind of education we give them is not necessarily the education for them just to be job seekers. They are also job creators.
But not everybody can attend private schools. That is the case the world over. But what can we do to make our public schools more attractive?
I think we should invest more, Modele, in education. My problem with our governments is that they have not been investing enough in education. If they invest enough in education, we will not be having the kind of problems we have in the country today. So many youths unemployed because they are not employable, or so many youths that cannot even create, simple opportunities for themselves and others. These are some of the problems we are having because we are not investing enough in education in this country.
But sir, you were vice president for 8 years. Didn't you have time to?
I was not. Yeah, I was vice president for 8 years, but I was not president for 8 years. It requires the power of the president to carry out or implement some of these reforms that we need to do in various facets, of our human endeavor in this country. A vice president is only there. He can only be as good or as effective if the president wants him to be.
We'll be talking a little more about governance in a bit, but we're still talking about education. How much has education, or in this case, lack of it, contributed to the security situation in the Northeast?
Well, of course, it has. It is much easier to recruit an ignorant person who has not been to school into all kinds of, criminal activities than it is with somebody who is educated. So, and today, the Northeast has the lowest illiteracy rate in the country. The AUN conducted, a research, in Adamawa alone. The level of illiteracy is about 80%. Not even 70% as it is generally published nationwide. They conducted a research. They are located in Adamawa, and they conducted a research in Adamawa. The level of illiteracy is about 80%. And this is typical of any state in the Northeast.
So what needs to happen?
What needs to happen is that governments have to invest heavily in education.
It's one thing to invest in education. If people don't believe that education will benefit them, you can only lead a horse to the water.
Yes, I don't think there is any parent.
Because I believe that government is spending almost as much money on education in the South, where education, in the Southwest, for example, where education is highly priced, as they are spending in the Northeast.
Not really, because first of all, the wealth of the states or the regions differ, but I don't think there is any parent who does not know the value of education as of today. In the days we went to school, yes, because our parents had to be forced to send us to schools. Like in my own case, it's generally well known that, my father went to prison before I could go to school because he didn't believe in it and he didn't want it. But nowadays,